Good afternoon, my friends. This is the Grim Flayer. Hope you're all doing very well today. Hope you all are staying safe out there, given current events. And I am here to bring you a little bit of edification and entertainment, hopefully, with everybody being cooped up a little bit more than usual right now. So we're playing some more Magic for you. We are playing Mono Red Prowess, to be exact, in the beautiful modern format. So it's been a little while since I've done this. I have had the people... The unwashed masses have been clamoring, they've been demanding, frothing at the mouth for more Mono Red Prowess content, so we're here to bring it to them, and I have a couple changes to the list from the last time you saw me play. Main deck is unchanged, in fact, it is exactly the same. We are still on the 4 Bedlam Reveler, 4 Mishra's Bauble build with Wild Slash as our shock variant of choice. For more information on the decision for shock variants, and also the decision for whether or not to play a 2-drop threat, like Kiln Fiend or Steamkin, please see my theory videos on that subject. We do have some interesting changes, however, in the sideboard. So Bonecrusher Giant, it's a card that's been seeing a lot of play lately, popping up in a fair amount of lists, generating a fair amount of discussion in the Prowess community. I have literally never cast this card before. I had not purchased them until about 5 minutes ago. Never even cast the card before, so we are going to see how it goes. I've seen some people main decking it. I personally do think it fits better in the side. Only in a very interactive meta would we consider main decking a card like this, in my opinion. And to be fair, the meta is pretty interactive, but there are also still the big mana decks out there, still the combo decks out there, the mirror match out there. I mean, not that this is bad in the mirror, but you understand the point. There's a lot of really fast decks in the format, too. We also... I'm trying something pretty experimental. I haven't really seen other people doing this. It occurs to me that it might be interesting to play a split of Blood Moons and land destruction effects. Like, if we assume that we want a 4th anti-big mana card, maybe... I think it's pretty clear that, like, a Stone Rain with upside is probably better than the 4th Blood Moon. So that got me thinking, do we play, like, a 1 of Alpine Moon, or do we do anything else? And if we want the 4th card, maybe we just split 2 and 2, a Moon effect and a Stone Rain effect. So, thought about playing Molten Rain, but when I got the idea to play Bonecrusher Giant, I kind of wanted to trim away an Abrade, which I hate, by the way, because I think Abrade is awesome. And with 1 fewer Abrade in the side, I opted for Pillage over Molten Rain. It doesn't give you the 2 damage, but it does let you flex into the anti-artifact role, just a little bit less efficiently, of course, than Abrade. But it's another way to kill Chalice. It's another thing, if you're like bringing in these cards against Eldrazi Tron, for example, both modes are pretty good, as long as they haven't gone over the top of you by then, right? Otherwise, it's mostly the same style of... Same exact things. I was going to say kind of the same style of deck, but it's really everything else is exactly the same. So without further ado, my friends, we are finding ourselves a league to play here, and let's do it. Just making sure I have the right deck registered here. It appears that I do. So I would like to say thank you, of course, to all Patreon supporters. I've got a stack of new ones to thank, but I'm not going to do it today, because most of my patrons are BGX Modern players, so I try to reserve my Patreon shoutouts in general for BGX Modern content. Partially because the most people watch that, and I want the most people to see me thank people individually as they sign up for Patreon, and partially because, again, those people mostly play that archetype, so I want them to see their own shout-out too. But anyway, all Patreon supporters, new and old, I do appreciate you. I do thank you for all of your support. This hand doesn't have a threat, but it works pretty well toward Reveler. I guess we're probably supposed to keep it, and I guess we are probably supposed to run out Bauble more or less right away, see what's going on. So I think we're going to begin by bobbling the opponent in this case, just to see what they're on, see whether it makes sense to just Lava Spike them and start racing. Mountain. Alright, well, we can't really read too much into that, but could be Burn, could be the Mirror, could be something else entirely that, of course, necessitates us racing. Aha, Spirebluff Canal. Well, this is looking more like Storm. Bottom, bottom. Alright. So would we like to kick off with a Manamorphose, or are we content just going Lava Dart Light Up? We really need a threat. I think that's enough reason for me to want to begin on Manamorphose here. Nope, we got a second light up, which actually is not the greatest, but we have found Lightning Bolt, which is pretty nice, just in the role of being able to either kill a bear that they play this turn, or indeed to facilitate another light up the stage this upcoming turn. I'm going to begin with this Manamorphose. They might remand it. Yep. Alright, well, we at least get the value back. We are priced, of course, into just bolting them upstairs here, lest we lose it forever. And that's pretty rough in the face of Storm, which might be able to lay down a bear and then even combo off this turn. Even if they can't combo off this turn, they could, of course, combo off next turn pretty easily, under most circumstances, if they have the bear. But I don't know that they do. They don't seem to. Alright, cool. Or maybe they're slow rolling it for fear of what we're up to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can just jam a Bedlam Reveler this turn. Probably going to. But the draw of the second one was pretty terrible for that reason. Alright, we got a Swifty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, let's go Swifty. Let's go Rev. And draw another Rev, sure. Again, the stuff's a little bit weak in the face of the combo. Okay, opponent will repeal, sure. Oops, I did not mean to 6 through my turn there. I didn't realize I was already auto-yielding. But it would have been an interesting proposition. In fact, I think I might have ended the turn doing this anyway, because we need to keep bluffing Lightning Bolt. And it's not like we've got a bunch of gas in hand, necessarily. Of course, we can draw some for turn and off of our next Rev. But I think bluffing Bolt here is actually pretty nice. So it's possible that even if I didn't just accidentally skip through my second main phase, we might have not played the Swifty anyway. Opponent chaining together some Manamorphose. We know they have the 4th land drop to make. Wow, all 3 Manamorphose. Or not all 3, but 3 in a row. I'm sure there's a 4th. Okay, they're going off with a couple of rituals. And again, at least they don't have a bear in hand, but Past in Flames. Off of the mountain we knew about. More rituals, more Manamorphose. Tempted to 6 here. We're probably just dead, but guess they might need to have a payoff naturally in order for that to be the case. Some pretty confident sequencing here, though. I'm sure they've just got it. Got the Grape Shot in hand. Okay, another one. We've seen all 4 Manamorphose. And they're floating blue, so hey, apparently not. Apparently we live to fight another day. Sadly, we probably don't have the kill this turn unless we get some nutty draws off the top. Okay, opponent's going to have to discard 2 cards down to hand size. You don't see that every day, that is for sure. Okay. So I think what we want to do is play Swifty, play land, play Rev, and pitch the Soul-Scar Mage. The 4th creature does not matter, but the haste one might. So that's kind of striking the balance between trying to kill them this turn and also trying to have enough mana open to facilitate all the good stuff. Yikes, double land crash through, man. We've got a serious lack of burn this game. Oh, we draw Manamorphose after the fact? Really? Man, that is so bad. Alright. So, we are going to hit for 6. We could do 7, 8, 9, put him to 4. That definitely isn't worth it. We'd rather just bluff the bolt. But if we had the bolt, we could put them to 10. I mean, we'd have lethal if we had the bolt, so we're not really bluffing anyway. Nevertheless, this is still the move, I think. Man, if this Manamorphose had been 1 card higher, we probably would have had it. Yep, here's the Electromancer, sure. I cannot imagine that we live now. Shouldn't really be possible. Yeah, we just bricked pretty seriously, not gonna lie. It's possible that they yet again failed to find a Grape Shot. But odds of that are slim to none, right? I don't know all the pro players or well-known players that well, but I believe this is the Storm guy. I believe this is Caleb Shearer. I've never watched his stream, but I think I recognize the handle here. Another ritual is bad news. It means they get to keep going, especially if they have like a Gifts Ungiven right here. Yeah, just any kind of burn. I think we would have had them. Admittedly, I didn't do the math right then and there, but I don't remember how much. I guess they've only taken 1 point this turn. But yeah, with the Lava Dart, I have to imagine that was lethal. So any burn, I think we would have killed them. Even if we didn't have lethal, obviously, killing this Electromancer is pretty huge. But they play another one out, okay. Empty. Yep. Well, now we kind of need another crash through to win, most likely. Almost certainly. $18 goblins. Well, 20 goblins if you count the ringleaders. Hey, crash through off the top. Sweet. We still need to hit lots more gas, make no mistake. That's not it. Okay, let's crack one of our 3 canopy lands. We find another one, really? Alright, now we'll crash. Okay, so we are... Right now we've got 13 power, Crash is 16, Lava Dart is 19 while killing a goblin. Just deciding whether it's better to crash through first or to crack an Islet first. I guess crash through lets us find another Manamorphose. But there is some incentive to do the opposite. Alright, we found Lightning Bolt. That is a thing. So now we've got 12, 16. Before we do anything else, we've got 2 more points for each creature. So we're going to be attacking for 22. It's better to bolt upstairs than to bolt the board. lava darting a creature, lava darting the board is kind of the same thing. Again, specifically because we have trample. So let's attack. Give the opponent as little info as possible before blocking goes down. Okay, so right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right now we're doing 0 damage. If we dart 1 goblin, we are doing 1, 2 damage. And then if we bolt upstairs, that's lethal. All right. Well, that was not your everyday game 1 against Storm. We got pretty lucky that they didn't have a payoff when we were unable to either race them as effectively as possible or control the board. But we did get a little bit unlucky in terms of just how flooded we were in the mid-game. In terms of how to play against Storm, well, I think Bonecrusher Giant is probably not where we want to be. It's a little slow, and it also cannot kill Baral. I want Dismember, I think Abrade. I think we're supposed to kill the Monodorks, but I'm not completely clear on that. I don't believe I've ever played against this matchup before. Tormod's Crypt seems like it at least does merit some consideration for sure. I wonder if we're supposed to adopt a more controlling role on the draw as well. Like a more board control-oriented role and a less race-oriented role. To that end, I don't know how to rate Wild Slash versus Lava Spike. This is a very interesting spot in which to find myself. I think I'm going to cut 2 Spike. I think the one point of difference between it and Wild Slash makes me want to lead towards Slash because it can kill those Electromancers and can even kill a Goblin token if we don't have Trample. I don't think I want to cut more than 2 Rev. I don't think I want to cut more than that burn either, so I'm thinking about sideboarding less heavily. Maybe only 1 Abrade, 1 Crypt? Ugh, or just no Abrade. I'm just going to play with no Abrade, just try to kill them with Dismember plus my usual burn. But as you can tell, my lack of experience might have me going a little bit astray here, and also there's just probably a lot of room for nuance and for preference. Opponent keeping 7. Our hand is pretty strong. We will keep it. It may not be able to race a Baral hand, but it can race an Electromancer hand because it can kill the Electromancer. We'll see what we draw. Okay, we've drawn a Lava Spike, huh? So, Opponent went 2 to the bot. So one option here is to go Swifty Bauble. That gets the clock started now, and it's going to give us as much of a chance as possible to find a Lightning Bolt for a Gruul, or a Dismember. The other option is to have the biggest possible turns 2 and 3 by going Soul-Scar Mage Pass. But I think I'm going to opt for the former. But once again, another very interesting decision point. Let's Bauble the opponent here. They have an opt. We have another Bauble. Okay, as we feared the Gruul. Light up the stage, huh? Alright, so having drawn another Bauble, this is a little bit nifty. I think we're going to Bauble ourselves to see exactly what we're going to be in for off the top of our deck. Sunbaked Canyon. Well, unfortunately, we cannot kill the Gruul. So I think the move is to attack. If they block, we slash. If they don't, we light up, still looking for a lightning bolt. And if light up doesn't yield a lightning bolt, we play Soul-Scar and hope they don't have the turn 3 kill. Pretty surprised they block. Might mean they have another one. It might also mean they didn't have the turn 3 kill set up and they're trying to play a more value-oriented game. But either way, I'm pretty happy they blocked, not gonna lie. They've got Bolt for Soul-Scar. Alright, we've got 2 Lava Spikes. Alright, I guess we're just kicking off with a big Manamorphose here. They could have another Bolt in response, or they could have who knows what, but... Alright, spike you. Light it up. Dismember Bedlam Reveler. Alright, so if we spike them, they're down to 8. We attack them for 5, they're down to 3. That's not lethal. Alright, so now we could hold up Dismember, which is safer against another Mana Dork for sure, but we actually don't have lethal next turn if we don't play the Soul-Scar Mage, most likely. Or we at least can't guarantee it, so I think we have to tap out. Once again, I don't necessarily expect an early kill, like a guaranteed kill, because they blocked with that Gruul, but they could very easily have found it. We're hoping not, though, right? Okay, well, let's begin with a Dismember. That's game. All right, cool. I wouldn't say those were comfortable wins over Storm, but we did... You know, we did have a sufficient floor of proactivity and interaction to, you know, be competitive with probably most of their draws. Certainly, if they had, you know, they had a window to turn for us there. If they had the right combo of cards, there's no question that a lot of Storm draws would have just untapped and killed us there. But, you know... We priced them into a block. We put together some pretty scary stuff as far as a board presence goes. We did interact a fair amount, you know. That's enough. Sometimes that is enough. Pretty nice start to the league, my friends. Yeah, I'll have to look up Caleb Shearer. I think that was him though, so that's kind of cool to run into the Storm Master. And here we are for round 2. Winning the die roll and having a pretty solid hand. One that I think does once again price us into Swifty, into Bauble, just because we want to hit the second land drop right away. Whereas if we had the second land drop guaranteed, we'd lead on Soul-Scar and then turn to Swifty, Bauble, whatever. But in either case, it is a keep. And I do believe I am going to go Swifty, Bauble. And Bauble the opponent on their upkeep here. Oh, it's the mirror. Uh-oh. Well, hey, we won the die roll, so that's kind of cool. I don't know how good of a hand of a mirror hand this is. You want to be able to kill the opposing creatures, and we can't yet, but let's draw a card that does so. Draw, like, land removal spell. Alright, we drew the land. Or, excuse me, we did not draw the land, we drew the removal, though. So the super high upside play is to simply crash through, trying to have our cake and eat it too, draw into a land. I honestly think I might do that. That makes the opponent more likely to just tap out next turn one way or another if we whiff. We get a good attack this turn even if we whiff. I think I'm going to go for it. We need the second land, and we did it. Beautiful. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? You know, gotta be a little risky sometimes. Oh no, Kiln Fiend. Now we need another removal spell. Yikes. Well, we're gonna try to Manamorphose into one, but we can at least play a couple blockers and say go if we don't. Alright, Fiery Islet. Yikes. Well, I don't think Kiln Fiend's that good in the mirror, but it could very easily just kill us here. However, we don't have much of a choice in the matter. Just spike upstairs, play out a Soul-Scar Mage, and then attack, maybe possibly spooking them into a block, because they are already at a pretty low life total. They don't. Unfortunate. Imagine if our card here was Wild Slash instead of another Soul-Scar Mage, how good that would have been. As is, we are setting up for a possible Rev next turn, but the opponent just untapped with a Kiln Fiend and a full grip, so I don't necessarily expect it to go very well for us, and they go Swifty into Manamorphose, which is about as good as it gets. We know they have a crash through. Am I still supposed to play Bonecrusher Giant in the mirror? Gonna have 3 claws, obviously, and generally you just want removal, but okay, so opponent's got 14 damage coming across. It's not enough to kill us. Maybe they just send the Fiend? Or do they... Yeah, we'll see. So this Bedlam Reveler in hand is pretty bad. But, like, as strange as it seems, it almost makes... The Reveler almost makes a double block kind of appealing, because we're unlikely to kill them on the crackback. What would we need to kill them on the crackback? We'd probably need Lava Dart, so then we get 2 cast triggers to kill the Swifty in Swing for 9. Probably need a Lava Dart off the top. Like, it's terrible to double block and still take 6 here. But I actually might. I think I might with the Reveler around. Like, we can still lose horribly to Kiln Fiend even if we don't double block here. Exactly Lava Dart is basically what we need to kill them. I think I'm supposed to double block. Man, this really sucks. Again, Kiln Fiend not usually great in the mirror, but combination of our lack of removal and that crash through that they had makes it pretty awesome here. Just totally wrecked us. But we are rewarded with a land for the Rev, so now we try to stay alive another turn and try to kill them next turn. So again, the Rev was kind of a bad card to have there, but just having drawn that mountain, I'm very glad we double blocked, right? Very glad we double blocked. Okay, Lava Spike. 2 more of those will do it. Okay, we're not going to be dead this turn, it seems. Light up into Mountain Manamorphose. Opponent with 2 cards in hand, those 2 coming to their aid next turn. Our draws off our own Bedlam Reveler were pretty terrible. Pretty awful draws. Land, light up, which we cannot enable Spectacle for, and another Rev. So we hope the opponent... I don't really know what we hope the opponent does here. Like, if they attack, it does give us the biggest window to... Oh, I'm sorry, they had not already made a land drop this turn. Okay, so they're going for it. No instant speed tricks, they go for the Rev. Got it. Okay, now if they attack, we have to jump. Alright, another mountain. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Well, we probably cannot win any longer. But what gives us the best odds of doing so? Is it cracking Islet, looking for, like, burn to turn on a 1-mana light up the stage? Or is it just hard casting light up the stage? I think we need, like, a burn card to be on the top of our deck to have a shot anyway, so I'm going to begin with this. Lava Dart, okay. Another Lava Spike and another light up the stage, huh? If we had a lightning bolt there, but we don't. But we don't. Just trying to decide how viable it is to potentially live by staying back. Not very. I think we're supposed to attack here. Force the block. And just go light up. They're almost certainly going to kill us here, but there's our lightning bolt. Little bit too deep. But as far as I can tell, we didn't really have too many other options. Feels bad to lose game 1 of the mirror, you know. It's kind of a crapshoot anyway. But there you have it. And it'll still be a crapshoot post side. No two ways about that. So claws for sure, and then I'm going to take my spikes out. Spikes and darts would let us sideboard really heavily. I don't know if Bonecrusher Giant's good in the mirror, but I think I might actually try it. And I don't know if we're cutting all copies of Dart and Spike, but we'll certainly consider moving all of them away. If we bring in both Abrades, which I think we should, all Claws, which we should, and we want to try out Bonecrusher Giant, we could obviously work one of these spells back in. We could also... I think, like, one Dismember is actually kind of reasonable in the mirror. Do we want to do that? I think I'm just going to put one Lava Dart back in. Call it good. I have no idea if the sideboarding is correct. Sideboarding is still the thing I'm most unsure of with this deck. I still haven't played it all that much. And every time I do, my deck's a little bit different. And the opposing Prowess builds vary so much that, you know, between all of those things, it's a little bit hard to determine exactly what's optimal. This looks like a pretty fine hand, though. No sideboard cards, but we will still keep it. Opponent mulling is nice, for sure. And we're getting a lot of looks at more cards with the contents of this hand. Okay. So the obvious thing to do is light up into, or excuse me, lightning bolt into light up, but that leaves us soft to them having another threat. Nevertheless, I think I will. Our hand doesn't do enough on its own without doing this, I think. Again, some pretty bad finds off of light up. And they've got the claw. All right, well, time to dig. I'm going to cast this just to get it in my graveyard, even though we're simply breaking even off it. And we are setting up for a pretty early rev, which is good. Obviously, finding an answer to the claw is certainly mission critical here. However, you can still win pretty handily through a claw as long as you're winning on other axes, right? Okay, another claw. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm just bolting in response here. Just gonna get a cheaper rev, try to find an Abrade as soon as possible. Pretty horrendous stuff. Opponent sequencing punishes us here. It's the correct sequencing, both in terms of playing around removal and in terms of maximizing claw life gain. Hey, we find a claw of our own. Well, that makes that bolt terrible. But we're definitely not just going to pitch it, right? But man, do I wish I kept my bolt around now. However, this does give us a whole lot of time to leverage this rev that we're going to hit next turn and take it from there. In fact, to that end, I don't think I'm going to crack my Islet on the end step. I think I'm just going to untap, cast a 3-mana rev, and make a land drop first and see what we've got. Alright, well, okay. So opponent's got 2 claws and an Abrade for our 1 claw. Sure. That's alright. You know, we've got the rev coming. We've got more claws. We've got our own Abrades. Opponent will bolt upstairs. This could work to our favor, just like it worked against us last time. We draw another land. Alright, let's find another Claw or an Abrade off of these 3 new cards. Instead we find 2 lands and a Rev. Man. Ooh, drawing the wrong half of the deck even post-side. Opponent looks like they're a little bit out of ideas. And they just say go. So now I'm going to crack this. Abrade. Cool. Light up the stage. Not bad. So first order of business is to Abrade a Claw, I think. If they were tapped out, it might actually be kind of interesting to Abrade the Swiftie, but certainly just going to hit a Claw with them representing Pump here. And we're going to attack, try to turn on Light Up the Stage. I don't think I'm at a huge amount of risk of dying next turn, but that is a possibility. We found a Claw. Nice. That reduces the possibility for sure. Okay. This is kind of what I had in mind, you know. We want to have a good value-oriented turn. Start unwinding some of the life gain that they've managed to put together. Okay, I thought I said always yes, but maybe because it's a new copy. And try to go over the top of them with these revs. Okay, our claws are not lasting long. We got one more left to find, but opponent doing a lot of work here. Wild Slash. Nice draw. Kill your threat. Play a 2-mana rev. I think I'm going to... this is a tough call. This is a real tough call. I think I'm going to crash through now. Probably Bauble next turn, but you could really see going either way. Oh man, we're just getting a lot of stuff that gives us this real tension. I think I'm going to quit while I'm ahead here. Just hit for 5, pass. Can't bring myself to waste too many of these free prowess triggers on only one attacker. Okay, opponent with a rev of their own. This is what we wanted to fade. Ah, they had 2, so at least there's that. Swiftie. Okay, Swiftie. Manamorphose. Another rev? Sure. Well, we're putting together some awesome turns. The Claw's doing so much work for them, though. We have another Claw and another Swiftie. Well, that seems good. Let's play the other Claw before anyone else makes any other moves. Opponent does not feel pressed into a block, so what are we doing if we Lava Dart them? We've got 12, 16. We're going to put them to pretty low, but I guess there's not really a need to at the same time. Alright, let's cast yet another rev. What do you say? Seems good, right? More Manamorphose in hand. Cool. Alright, upkeep Bauble you. Opponent says I'm on the mill plan now. That is funny. Love it. Well, we've resolved all 4 Bedlam Revelers. These have been some pretty good draws, you have to say. Okay. All right, and that's going to be game. Yeah, the opponent pretty much just spinning their wheels a little bit in the face of our overwhelming value. Yeah, that was nutty. That was nutty. Chaining Revelers, pretty crazy. It almost makes me wonder how good Tormod's Crypt is in the matchup. I'm sure you're not supposed to play it, but like to me, sideboarding in this mirror is very interesting and not especially clear. Opponent left in lava spikes, at least some of them. Makes me wonder if I've done anything incorrect here in terms of taking them out. I think I like a 1 of Lava Dart better than a 1 of Lava Spike, but that might not be correct. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be playing Bonecrusher Giant again. They might be off of Kiln Fiend. We didn't see Fiend that game. Makes sense that they're off it. It makes Bonecrusher worse, but again, are we supposed to play like every form of removal? And like he's pretty fine in every way, just a little slow. I'm kind of thinking about bringing in a Dismember for this game, but that might just be too bad. You guys will have to really let me know how you sideboard in the mirror generally, and also, you know, in this circumstance. Can't bring myself to register the Dismember, but maybe I think like one is interesting. Let's just run it back. This is going to be the tough one on the draw. OP keeping 7. We've got removal, we've got a threat, we've got an Abrade. This is a good keep. We're working toward the Rev. Once again, you'll love to see a claw in your opener, but... Ooh, opponent having it operate off the Fiery Islet, eh? Well, if they have a claw, they won't care quite as much. Slash your Swifty, and then what? Did they have 2 islets, or did they keep a 1-lander? Both are possible. Of course, they could always top deck a mountain, but they're just saying go? Oh my. Alright, well. 1-lander it is. So I guess the line here is to play Swifty, attack, get our point of damage across, blow out a Wild Slash if they have one, or another shock. And if not, we just play Soul-Scar. I almost don't want to, simply because like it's going to make their turn good. If they're just sitting on some shocks and they get to like end step, shock the board, untap, shock the board. Nevertheless, I think we're supposed to make them have 2 pieces of removal here to really punish us for this. And like, we cannot compete over a lightning bolt anyway, right? So they do have 1 shock. They do have a bolt. All right, whatever. You know, I don't regret it. I think it's fine. Let's start casting spells, working toward the Rev. Yikes. I'm just saying go here. So, pretty well punished for that play by our draws more than anything. Okay, they've got the claw. We kind of knew that was coming based on this keep. They had to have one. Thankfully, we have the Abrade for that. Then we'll crash, looking for another 1-mana threat. We don't have it, so passing, holding up Lightning Bolt's pretty good here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to bolt on the end step if they don't do anything, and then just untap and slam that Rev. Start the Rev chain again. We have to lose our only other Abrade to do so. But we still should. Yeah, we still should. I don't think there's any way we're supposed to slow roll this. They clearly don't have another claw in hand, or they would have just run it out. Okay, well, we have not had like a... Our first Rev of every game has been like real awkward. Like, double Soul-Scar land is real awkward when you have no burn anywhere. Of course, if we draw some non-creature action off the top, it gets really good, right? Okay, opponent does have Kiln Fiends in. Let's draw a Bonecrusher Giant. Let's find that sideboard card. Crash Through is a really good start. Light it up. Yeah, that's pretty good too. Do we just want to main phase a light up? It's pretty good, actually, I think right now. But again, I think cracking Islet first is justifiable. This time, though, I think I'm going to go with the light up main. Oh my goodness. Double Mountain, really? Really? Okay, so opponent just goes to 3. They're just going to try to kill us with Kiln Fiend. Stranger things have happened, but at least we're at 19. They're starting off with a Manamorphose. Look, we both know I don't have anything, so I'm just going to do this now, and if you got us, you got us. Very, very awkward draws. Drawing, like, just 60% lands in the latter stages of the game, including a bunch of extra cards that we've seen off of various things. The opponent still has to really have some nutty stuff to kill us, though, because their early progression was so clunky. They can't kill us, so they're playing defense. That's good. Even this light up, this clunky light up could get us there. They got removal, though. They got removal. Ooh, but they make the attack. It's pretty risky, but you understand why they do it, but yeah. We drew a Swiftie. GG. Yeah, good games, well played. Like I said, it's kind of a crapshoot, you know. A whole lot depends on the luck of the draw in the mirrors. Yeah, opponent got punished for keeping a 1-land Fiery Islet hand. Islet must have done probably 5 damage to them over the course of that game, 4 or 5, something like this. And more importantly, they just didn't develop their plan. But again, you understand they had a turn 1 Swiftie, turn 2 Dragon's Claw, they had Abrade, they had some other good stuff, I'm sure. But it was not enough. It was not enough. You know, interacting a little bit, trading resources a little bit, getting an early Reveler. There's a lot to be said for that in the mirror. It's like good enough to beat the opponent having sideboard cards when you don't. Again, I don't know exactly how I should be optimally sideboarded there, but apparently what we did was good enough. And I did see a lot of windows where Bonecrusher Giant would be good. So, you guys, again, will have to let me know about that. We're on the play here with a pretty strong one-lander. Obviously, the lack of, like, a crash through is what's alarming here. But I do believe I'm going to keep it. It's a hand that races. It's a hand that's really good at racing if we hit a second land. Naturally. But yeah, no Bauble, no crash through. Those things make this hand way better. But that's alright, we're just going to draw the second land right off the top. We're against Tron. We didn't do it. Yikes. Another Swiftie makes drawing another land next turn amazing, though. We could still very easily turn 4 them. We're probably not going to turn 3 them at this point. Oh, where it's Eldrazi Tron. Oh, it's Eldrazi Tron. Great. Great. My literal least favorite deck in all of Modern. Well, that changes everything. At least we have this light up. But we are just not clocking like we need to be. And we've whiffed on the land for the top 4 cards, I guess, now. That's just a disaster. That is just a complete disaster. Here comes a Reshaper. Yep. Land. Bauble. Bauble. Oh boy, oh boy. Gotta get some damage across, gotta live through this trade, and I guess we bauble them. We might as well do it on their turn for fear of Thought-Knots here. Reshaper into another Reshaper. This deck is tilting, dude. I will never not be tilted by E-Tron. Okay, opponent about to draw an Eldrazi Temple. Thought-Knot or, yeah, Thought-Knot. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, you can safely say we're pretty unlucky not to have seen the land by now. But it was a risky keep. There was no guarantee that we'd see it in, like, the first turn or two. But not seeing it by now is a little ridiculous, and we're just max punished for that against a Chalice of the Void deck. Okay. Still nothing. Still nothing. Okay, we're going to bauble. I'm going to bauble myself to see what's on the top of my deck to give us an idea. Crash Through. Well, Crash Through makes me not want to suicide in here. But, like, realistically, maybe we just should anyway. By suicide in, I mean, like, attack, and then if they block with Thought-Knot, be priced into flashing back our mountain. Whatever. Like, going any slower against this deck, we're just not going to win. So, I hope they don't block with Thought-Knot, but they do. Yep. Okay, we're down to no lands. But we draw off the Thought-Knot, which is going to be... Oh, they have a Dismember too. Yikes. Okay. Well, there's basically nothing they didn't have here in terms of how it lines up against us. So we were going to get to see 2 cards there, +1 for our draw step, which is... They got Blast Zone too. Yeah, this matchup, man. The reason Eldrazi Tron tilts me is because it's a deck that loses to itself all of the time. Like, you don't make Tron all that consistently. Yeah, we'll race you. We'll race you. Who would win 1 versus 9? But any regular viewer of my channel has heard my laments about E-Tron many a time. So I will not bore you with that any longer. It's a pretty cool achievement for the opponent, though. Having a totally empty boarded opponent that they kill. But, yeah, just... We're having so much fun, and some decks just make me take a nosedive in terms of my enjoyment, but that is all right. We will do our best, and I did mention in the deck tech at the beginning that Pillage is, like, pretty interesting against Eldrazi Tron. I don't know if we have room for all 8 of these cards, but I want to play Pillage, Abrade, Blood Moon, and Dismember. And honestly, Bonecrusher Giant seems not bad either, but I cannot imagine that sideboarding out 10 cards is ever correct in Prowess. But what do I know, right? What do I know? What are our worst cards against Eldrazi Tron? I think, like, Wild Slash can come out. I'm kind of inclined to cut one Bedlam Reveler because I can see them playing Graveyard Hate. But and I'm also new to sideboarding with the Mishra's Bauble build. I wonder how often it's correct to trim away on Baubles. And you could imagine a world in which they do set Chalice on 0. It's probably not very common. It's probably not really going to happen, actually. Maybe I should wind that hot take back in, right? But it is something that in theory could be chaliced very easily, but probably not going to happen. I'm going to try to fit in all 8 of these cards. Let's just forget about the Bonecrusher for a minute. I think we're going to just trim a Rev even, I don't know how correct it is, but with all these slots that we need to find room for, let's just start trimming at the edges. We'll take away 1 Bauble, 1 Rev, kind of balancing out the curve. And, like, controlling their board is kind of important, but so you could see just siding out Lava Spikes and not worrying that much, but also racing them is a very good way to get around their big mana payoffs, which are unbeatable. So what I'm trying to decide is the Aristotelian mean between Lava Spike and Lava Dart in this matchup. We have raised our curve significantly, so maybe I'm actually just cutting, like, another Rev. That might just be totally wrong. Might be totally wrong to cut 2 Revs, but I'm gonna do that. I'm also gonna move away more from Lava Dart than Lava Spike, especially on the play where we're racing. And it's just with all these higher curve things, we are not as free to cash in mountains on average for the flashback. Again, this might not be correct, but you know, I hope you're getting entertainment out of the gameplay, because you sure as heck are not getting expertise, precision sideboarding, right? But we're having fun. This hand races so well and has such resilience to spot removal that I think I'm supposed to keep it, even though it's very one-dimensional. This would be very questionable on the draw, but here on the play, I think we're supposed to give it a keep. Their deck's really inconsistent. Let's make them have the stuff that we hate, right? I don't literally want you to have it, by the way. That was not a sign to go chalice us immediately again. Okay, they got Tower into Map. Well, you know, I think the play is simply to do this. Hope they don't have Chalice, but even if they do, there is a world in which we can win through it. They're going to have Tron. Okay. So now I don't think I want to commit the Swifty. I think I'm going to begin with 1 Crash through. Another Soul-Scar Mage. Alright. Let's just hit for 6, light up. We could have easily turned 3'd with a lot of draws, but we didn't get the burn we needed. Okay, there's the 3rd land. Do we want to commit a 4th Soul-Scar to the battlefield? What does that change? I don't know, but I'm going to do it. They are a Chalice of the Void deck after all. I think the matchup is bad enough that you take high-risk lines. Yeah, this matchup does suck, by the way. Opponent says, LOL Mono Mage. And what's their payoff? I'll say mono red wizards. Ugin the Ineffable. That's a scary one, but it definitely rewards us for going as wide as possible. And it is beatable. Alright. Land, Swifty, crash through. Let's try to just find lethal. Ugh. Another mountain. Okay. How much respect are we supposed to show this Ugin with our attack? We have to send at least 2 at the opponent to guarantee light up. And honestly, like, putting the opponent to 1 is pretty good, or putting them to 3, rather, is pretty good, because we can just draw a bolt or a spike and win. But the opponent is certainly blocking with that spirit no matter how we attack. I mean, Ugin taking down is kind of whatever. I think I'm just attacking the opponent with everything. Man, just a burn spell. Just a burn spell at any point in this game. Bedlam Reveler Mountain. Wow. Well. We are drawing, like I said, our opening hand's really one-dimensional. It just got even more one-dimensional. It's become, like, zero-dimensional since the start of our game. And now here comes what from Karn? The great creator. Wormcoil Engine. Yikes. Yep, I was hoping they'd get something bad, like Ensnaring Bridge. Not with a full grip like that. Wormcoil. Okay, well. It's just got way harder for us. Okay, Thought-Knot Seer. See how badly we have flooded, my friend. So we can kind of just barely cast a Rev. Pillage. Pillage. An interesting find. But it's either Pillage or Rev. And if we just, like, pillage the Wormcoil and say go, that's terrible. Opponent says, gonna be honest, I'm not gonna be mad if I lose this one, because this was frickin' sweet, LOL. Opponent's very nice. My tilting against Eldrazi Tron has no reflection whatsoever on our lovely opponent. I think they are going to get us here. I think we're going to have to pitch our Pillage, sadly. Yeah, of course, opponent's saying, I still think you play land in Bedlam. Yeah, I know, but I'm deciding between pillaging. Yeah, no, it's got to be Bedlam. Pillage just doesn't do enough. Bauble. Opponent says, can kill me if you hit more than Manamorphose and crash through combo. I don't have the land for that. Yeah, we're gonna say go. More just total bricks here. Like, Bauble not a total brick, obviously, that's a little facetious, but opponent playing our deck for us. Yeah, I know we're not dead, but, like, realistically, we had a very high percentage of killing the opponent before they started getting these unbeatable planeswalkers down, and that's more what I'm saying when I said I think you have us here. Like, when you're tutoring Wormcoil Engine and operating off 10 mana, and have a 6 and a 4 mana planeswalker, respectively, you know, the game may go on, but And then more Thought Knots, so they have a perfectly safe attack here. That's kind of the one thing we had going for us, is like, the attack wouldn't necessarily be that free, even with Wormcoil, but now it is. What now? What now? Karn, Relic of Progenitus. Yeah, makes sense. Reality Smasher. Yeah. Just taking the hit. A backup Karn the Great Creator. So, you know, when I was talking about how the deck sometimes loses to itself, look at what the opponent's got. They're playing 4 mana Planeswalker. It's turn 5. And if they didn't assemble Tron, they would have like 4 drops, 5 drops, 6 drops, a bunch of other 4 and 5 drops is in the forms of their creatures sitting in hand. And they don't put that much effort into assembling Tron. It's literally just 4 Expedition map, and do you kind of luck into it, right? We've drawn Dismember. That could be good. So I think we begin with a Sunbaked Canyon, and if we find an aggressive signal here, we'll take it. Manamorphose, all right. I don't think our life total matters at all here, but you can make double black on it, but I'm just not going to. Gives away the game. Another brick. Well, I guess we are supposed to main phase Dismember a Thought Knots here, in case we draw something else that has to be done at sorcery speed. Opponent dismembering our Bedlam Reveler in response. Okay. We have drawn a Manamorphose. Cool. Into a Bedlam Reveler. We'll play it. And we could be rewarded with a 1-drop piece of action here. Lava Spike. Yeah. Okay. Did we do it? I suppose that we did. Most likely. Unless, was this a Warping Whale? Or, sorry, Warping Whale doesn't do it here. I'm thinking of something else entirely. Or Crack Relic in response. I almost mentioned that I thought the opponent should have just main phased the Relic on their turn, just in case. Like, if the game's closer, or if, like, either player has that... Opponent says, that deck looks so fun, haha. It's true. It is highly recommended. Opponent, you are awesome. Temetal22. I like you. I like you a lot. Cool. Well, we stole that one. And decision to hedge away from Revelers potentially confirmed because they do have Relic. That said, I still don't know how correct it is to hedge away from 2. My instinct was to do 1, but moving away from 2 lets us get this pile of sideboard cards in, which we did not see any of, besides the Pillage that we had to pitch. And they all get worse. I shouldn't say they all. The Moons and the Pillages get worse on the draw. Abrade and Dismember are arguably more important on the draw. I kind of like how we sided, though. We've been, like, drawing not quite enough burn, so part of me just wants to get, like, a dart back in here, but I think I'm just going to run it back. think I'm just going to run it on back. And, you know, the opponent's deck does have a decent fail rate. It's time. It's time for our opponent's fail rate to kick in. Maybe. Maybe. We hope. Again, nothing against OP, but we're trying to win our games out here. And it's a little tough against E-Tron if they're keeping strong 7s all 3 games. So let's hope the third time is not the charm for OP. They're keeping 7. Our hand's pretty strong, though. We'll keep it. But once again, it doesn't have any sideboard action. Opponent with an Eldrazi Temple pass. You have to imagine that is going to be Chalice on 2, which is just a disaster, especially because we just drew a Lightning Bolt. I'm going to play Swifty. I'm just going to eke out every point of damage I can because I don't expect us to be able to operate until we draw an Abrade or a Pillage. Chalice, 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 and we just draw more 1-drops, huh? I'm just gonna fire him off into the Chalice. It's ridiculous, but like, we have to hope the opponent kept a hand on the strength of the Chalice, and not much more, and we're also still working toward Reveler this way, but it is totally terrible. And like, okay, they got main phase Dismember, so, you know, they're at 12, but they're stabilized. 1/1 Walking Ballista. Alright. We've drawn an Abrade. Cool. That's a good draw. I wish we had it last turn, though. That would make this game way different. Way different. But I will not look a gift horse in the mouth. Better late than never, and any other cliche you can think of. I'm with it. I'm applying it here. Another 1/1 Ballista. Yeah, their hand is a little bit underpowered besides this Chalice. So let's hope it stays that way. We drew another Abrade. Alright, well. I think we just played 2 creatures out here and say go. And hope they don't hit the 4th land, and hope they don't have anything else too crazy this turn. The 4th land is just what we want to fade for, like, every reason under the sun. This could be another... Yeah, it's another Chalice. They got to back up Chalice. But we got to back up Abrade. Abrade your Chalice, my friend. Then we're crashing through up on you. And we're setting up for the big rev next turn. Manamorphose, too. Okay, just putting them to 6. There's the land they needed. Now what's the payoff? So they have 4 mana. 5 mana for an Eldrazi. Looks like a smasher. Yep. And they're cashing in both Ballistas to take care of Swifty. They should be taking care of Soul-Scar Mage, but that's okay. We've drawn Mountain Manamorphose. Pretty good. Considering we're looking for the rev this turn. Anyway. And the reason I didn't play my Mountain first is in case we drew exactly this. Lava Dart, Blood Moon, Mishra's Bauble. Whoa, interesting spot. So, if we Bauble, we go to 3/4. Like, we just have overwhelmingly lethal if they don't block anyway. So, it's a question of would we rather pitch Blood Moon or Mishra's Bauble? I guess it's probably Mishra's Bauble that we're supposed to pitch. Dart you, dart you. Yeah. I'm not sure how correct this was, having done so, but it's an option. I think it's better to get that off the field in the face of like a potential smasher or something. But would have been really nice to have a freebie to pitch there. And honestly, there's some incentive maybe to pitch Blood Moon over the Bauble, because they do have a wastes. Alright, let's just draw a burn spell and win. No. So awkward. So awkward, so awkward. Can't bring myself to throw that stuff away. There are some reasons to do so. It makes a Lava Spike lethal. Okay, they got a Thought Knot. They're hard casting their stuff. We got a million great top decks here, though. It's not really one of them right now, but it could be good with the right draw step. Jeez, opponent just like drawing all their 4 and 5 drops right now, while being Blood Mooned off of most other things. They go get Tormod's Crypt, that makes sense. Although I guess they could have gotten Relic and drawn a card, right? We draw Brick, so I'm concealing info here. Feels so bad. Feels so bad to draw the Brick right now. Hope I didn't punt. Now they get Worm Coil. Ugh. This deck is so tilting. Oh, it's so tilting. Yep. Oh my god. Alright, well. I think if we were just like drawing these cards one turn earlier with the Bauble instead of Blood Mooning, I think we're gonna be in this exact same spot, aren't we? Like, they're just literally drawing bricks while they draw near perfect things. Expedition map, yes. They're going to pump it up to a 1-1. Pretty spicy. Lightning Bolt. Alright, we've got to play some defense here, I guess. Hope they make a bad attack. Lightning Bolt's a good draw. It's our first one in a while, though. It's probably too little too late. Sky Sovereign Consul Flagship. I hate this deck so much. Alright, well. I think we gotta shrink this. And then sadly trade our Rev with it. But I do believe that, like, we cannot afford them having any more life gain. Nor to continue just hitting us like this. But, like, this type of stuff just goes so far over the top of us that it's gross. And I'm pretty sure we missed our window, and there's our final brick for the nail in the coffin. I'll say GG's well played to the opponent, and then we're moving on. Yeah, super tilting matchup. I don't know if I did that optimally right there at the end. I'd need to look back. But again, look at their draws, like when the dust settled after all the interaction and all the trading, and then look at ours. Like, we don't win that game, I think, no matter what. But we did have some other interesting lines, like when we were only on 3 lands with a Swifty and a Blood Moon. We'd just drawn the Swifty. We could have, like, I don't know, maybe cracked the Canopy land, but that seemed bad. I don't know. Eldrazi Tron. I truly hoped we could finally take it down a tier with the banning of Once Upon a Time, and the previous banning of Lattice. that we never really felt the effects of that strongly because Once Upon a Time was so good in the deck once it got adapted. This is another risky-ish one-lander, but it's much less risky than the previous round's one. We'll keep it. But I'm still seeing Eldrazi Tron a fair amount. That doesn't mean it hasn't gotten knocked down a peg, but I would be happy never playing against that deck again, personally. But they were close games. They were pretty good games. And our opponent was awesome. Opponent was really cool. And we're still doing well in the league. We're on to round 4. We're against an Arbor Elf deck, Ponza. Yeah, so this does price us, I believe, into bolting the elf. It's a real shame that we didn't draw a land, but at the same time, drawing removal for the elves are really good, so I won't complain. Yeah, we're just going to play it safe, bolt the elf. You've seen me this league take a higher risk, high reward line of like crash through looking for the second land, then we found it. I believe that was in the mirror. Here, we cannot let Ponza have 3 mana on turn 2 if it's in our power to stop them, so that's why we kind of have to do that in my view. Okay, opponent has Utopia Sprawl. And another elf, maybe? Or another Sprawl. Alright, they've got all the mana, but we did slow them down a turn. And we've hit our second land. Nice. So, what is our preferred sequencing here? We definitely should be getting the Soul-Scar Mage down. That's the responsible thing to do. And I guess we want to set ourselves up for the best possible turn 4 by just attacking, then lighting up, then soul-scarring. If we had a third land, naturally we might be doing something differently here. Alright. I don't think our life total matters that much, so I'm going to play the land from over there. Okay, so it's not great, but it's not bad. It really is going to totally hinge upon what their payoffs are. And these Ponza decks are another of my more hated archetypes. I don't think the matchup's too bad for us here on Prowess, but I try not to let it be like, I'm like the decks I'm good against, and I don't like the decks I'm bad against, right? I like it to be more nuanced than that. I philosophically oppose Eldrazi Tron and Ponza, but that is just me. Your mileage may vary, and they played a Blood Moon, not the most effective, is it? Love to see that. They could still have like an Inferno Titan or something waiting in the wings, but okay, well, it's going to be a nice turn for us, so we crash into a light up. That means we're spiking main phase, lighting up main phase, doing a ton of damage, seeing more cards, getting toward Rev next turn, so even if they have an Inferno Titan, oh my god! I was going to say we're going to be in a great spot probably with just lethal on board, but once again, so many like double mountain light ups. And I'm sorry, they don't even have 6 mana this turn anyway. They have a Glory Bringer. Okay. Wow, they go for the attack. I guess that makes sense. But we draw literal anything, and they're pretty dead. But we can't draw anything, it's just another land. My goodness. Alright, well, doesn't matter what land we play, but they could still very well be dead off this Reveler hit. Lava Dart should do it. Mishra's Bauble should help. I am going to Bauble them just for information. Wooded Foothills. Good to know. Good to know. Alright, we did it. We turn 5'd them through a really clunky progression in many ways on our end. But, you know, that's the real appeal of the 4 Reveler build with the Baubles, is you just kind of, like, I think you have lower variance in the mid-game. You're just, like, going to see a Reveler more often, and the Reveler is just going to kind of muscle you somehow over the line, even if a lot of stuff is not going your way, right? So anyway, that was kind of cool. I want to consider Abrade and Dismember and Bonecrusher and maybe Pillage. So let me explain each of these. Killing the Monodork is huge. That's why we like Dismember, and Dismember also kills Glorybringer and pretty much every other top-end payoff besides Klothys and Inferno Titan that I can think of. Abrade kills the Monodorks, albeit less effectively, and it can also answer things like Trinisphere, which I've seen them play. Bonecrusher Giant, this is just like a value slog sometimes, and Bonecrusher can stomp out an Arbor Elf and come down as a 4-3. And Pillage is interesting because it's going to kill the Trinispheres and any other artifacts I'm not aware of. Also, like, killing the basic forest that they load multiple Utopia Sprawls onto is interesting. But I don't know if we should fit all these in. I think we want to race them more than anything. So I believe Bonecrusher and Dismember are looking like the strongest cards to me. In terms of what we don't like, what do we think about just cutting 4 Lava Spike? I think Wild Slash is really good. Lava Dart's pretty good. Seems some pretty clean sideboarding. And I think leaving out the artifact hate that does another thing is fine until we know for sure that they're on something like Trinisphere. The only question is, do we want to trim a Bedlam Reveler? I'd probably just be putting a Lava Spike back in all honesty. It's a little arbitrary, but I'm going to actually shave a Bauble and play 1 Spike. I want a little more fuel for the Rev, I want a little more racing power, and 3 Bauble is fine. In some ways it feels like you should not trim your 0 mana cantrip, but let's remember that the non-Bauble builds are also 18 land, and they don't have any 0 mana cantrips, and they function just fine, so it's not like we're kind of potentially monasterying ourselves by trimming a Bauble, you know what I mean? This hand interacts really well. It does not race. I will keep. It's an elf. We can kill that. How do we want to do it? Is it better to bolt or to dismember? Probably just to bolt. Bolt can always go upstairs, so we always want to consider something else. Oh, they kept a 1-lander? Or did they skip past their turn? They're trying to float green in our upkeep. Looks like they skipped past their turn. That sucks. Alright. Oh, we regret bolting, because Bolt also could enable this light up the stage, but that's alright. I think we're going to crash through, but there's a couple different ways you can sequence here. I'm going to crash, looking for a threat. Okay, pretty bad. Pretty bad to hit a 4th land when we don't need one. However, we are still holding up Dismember. Maybe they do have a 1-lander and they just have another Arbor Elf. No, they have lands, they just skip their turn. Utopia Sprawl. Alright. Into a Scooze. Alright, so we can untap and stomp it, or we can dismember looking for better things to do. Stomp also can go upstairs and turn on light up, so I think we're supposed to dismember here. We don't want to be this mana inefficient, right? So dismember your ooze. Yeah. I think I'm Manamorphosing here looking for a more efficient turn, but happy to stomp into light up if that's all we can do. Alright, we've got Lava Dart. That's better. Much rather dart you, light it up, find a 1-drop. Okay, we just find another mountain, another Bonecrusher. Okay, so our progression's real clunky. We're not taking advantage of the opponent's misclick. And we're kind of out of, good ways to answer big payoffs. I don't think dismembering and bolting early was wrong at all, but now we're kind of drawing our stomps and nothing else. Alright, well we can stomp that, but still good value for OP if we do. Opponent picks an Arbor Elf, Glorybringer, making a couple elementals, making a land drop. They're going to send it back to us. Jeez. So how does this work? If we stomp them, then it goes back into exile and I'll still have it, right? I'm going to assume so. So I'm just going to play the pure value game here. So if I hope this is still in exile. Yes, it is. All right, good. Bloodbraid Elf. Into Weather the Storm. Okay, kind of an awkward cascade. It definitely does something, you know? A shot of 6 life isn't bad. But, again, we're playing the value game, so this is okay. We'll let them go to attacks here. They'll probably turn them all sideways. But we stomping the other Bloodbraid. Or the Bloodbraid, rather. All right. We are just flooded, guys. We're just flooded. Think I'm cracking an Islet before I do anything else. Lightning Bolt. It's a pretty good card. But we got to be more mana efficient than that, so we'll play out a Bonecrusher and pass. Neither deck putting out a particularly impressive performance right now. However, we are doing things. Chandra is very annoying as always, but we can take care of her. Opponent just chipping in with 1 elemental. Sure. Lava Dart, an interesting draw. Think I'm going to use the one from my hand on Chandra and say go. Holding up Lightning Bolt here. Got 2 darts in the graveyard. Just want to draw a Bedlam Reveler. Obstinate Baloth. Yeah, opponent with seeing a lot of sideboard tech here. Rev? Another Lava Dart. Okay. Crack the canyon. Light up the stage. Cool. That's a good draw. Start the opponent from hand. Light up with Spectacle. Crash through and Lava Spike, huh? I guess we're crashing now. Bauble. We're wasting a lot of Prowess triggers. We haven't found a single Prowess creature in the top half of our deck just about. Isn't that crazy? I think I'm actually playing defense. I think I'd rather try to trade Bonecrusher with Baloth than try to double spell it. So I was going to reflexively attack, but on reflection, I'm not going to. We'll play Bauble, we'll upkeep opponent. Forest. And then we are just, again, trying to chain some revs here. All out attack. Take the trade. I believe that to be correct, but there are some ways in which we get punished for it. Tireless Tracker. Bolter. Come on, Rev. Come on, Rev. We're due. We need one. Soul-Scar Mage, Mountain. Bro. Where are my Revs? Did not side any out. Okay, Spike, you say go. Feels real bad, but like, on average, we should really be top decking the opponent by now, simply because one Bedlam Reveler is such an amazing payoff for all of the trading that we've done. And when we find one, there will be more at this stage of the game. Gotta find the first one, though. Gotta find that first one. Opponent's seeing a lot of cards, too. Still got 4 in hand. They've got the Spyro tokens to flashback. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we've got a million. I'm going to fight over this. I'm just going to Lava Dart a couple elementals in response. Try to keep my Soul-Scar alive. All right. What else have you got, OP? Kitchen thinks. Is their sideboard just 15 cards for Prowess? It's all right. We're going to draw Rev. We've drawn Wild Slash. You know, that's actually pretty good. If we had to draw a non-Rev card. Because the Soul-Scar shuts off Persist. I'm keeping that Lava Dart in the tank to fight over a shock effect, which they probably don't have, but more importantly, to kill another X1. We're not racing them based on that extra 1 Prowess trigger. They're already at 22. So we answered Finks cleanly, but like, how often can I say it? We gotta draw that Rev. Opponent's just got a deck full of like mid-range value bombs. They're gonna anger away the Soul-Scar. We only have 1 Lava Dart left. See you later. Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf? What? Since when do you play Tarmogoyf, Panza? I swear they have like a transformational plan specifically for Prowess. This is ridiculous. Also ridiculous just missing the Rev, right? Well, we're going to take the hit. Go to 5. Dead to another hit. What's their last card in hand? Another Obstinate Baloth. Guys, have you ever seen anything like this? Have you ever seen a single thing like this? I have not. All right, we've drawn Light Up, so we are going to float a mana, Lava Dart the opponent. We're going to finally draw a Bedlam Reveler. And even then, it's probably not going to be enough in the face of all this. Crash through Mishra's Bauble. Okay. Officially through the top half of the deck with no revs. Let's crash. There he is. There he is. But it's too little too late. Probably. Maybe not. These are some alright finds. We'll play the Bauble out now because we just need like maximum efficiency for the rest of the game in terms of what interaction we're finding. I think we're supposed to stay back. Like, they're at 25. Like, there is a world in which attacking kind of makes sense. But I think we're just a little too low for that. Opponent's drawn a brick for turn. As our Bauble reveals, it is Mountain. Will they send them both in? Just the Goyf, huh? Alright, so if we... Are we just dismembering and going to 1? Probably. We don't have any lava darts. We have one in hand. Alright, we've dealt with the Goyf. So opponents at 25, we're at 1. We have to kill them before they kill us. We've drawn Mountain for our draw step. You couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it up, guys. Let's crack a Fiery Islet into a third mountain. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. How is this possible? We say go. I was sure that another Reveler was in the offing, and then... Wait a minute. Oh, they've got the tokens to get back, right. Yep, that's totally fair. We're still beating that, but it's another thing to deal with. I was sure that another Reveler was coming our way this turn, and was still unsure that it would be enough, but yeah, the Rev would have been... probably necessary, but not sufficient. But hey, if opponent breaks off, then we're in business. Okay, well, let's start lava darting. Guess we should block first. Okay, so opponent with a bit of a desperation attack, maybe. Or maybe one that clears the way for Anger of the Gods. So there is 1 point of damage marked on the Swifty and 4 points marked on the Rev. So that is a disaster. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a disaster. It's a good attack from the opponent. Let's just draw a Rev. Let's just draw a Rev. We did it. I knew we would. We literally had to at this point. Okay. Soul-Scar Mage into another Rev. Here they are. All right. Okay, we got Bauble, Manamorphose, Lightning Bolt. Think we're supposed to hold all this stuff? Say go. Try to kill them next turn. Hope to dodge lethal. Right here, right now. We know they have a mountain in hand. They have their draw step beyond that. Which is a Utopia Sprawl. Cool. Cool. This is a really intense league, guys, isn't it? Sunbaked Canyon. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is cast a Manamorphose. Swifty. All right. Then we'll Bauble. Might as well Bauble the opponent because we're going to draw no matter what. They have Abrade off the top, so we're not dead even next turn. Find another Manamorphose. My client's starting to lag here. We found Lightning Bolt light up the stage. What a turn, guys. What a turn. Ho, 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 ho. Another Manamorphose? Don't mind if I do. I guess we have overwhelmingly lethal by now, but why stop? Why stop here? Negative 14. I love this deck. I truly do love this deck. Really, really sweet win there. Staving off death at 1 life. You love to see that. Against, again, another deck, you know, with no disrespect to the opponent. Intended, another deck that is my nemesis that I dislike the play patterns of. So, the league is a success, guys. I have been cashing almost every single league with this deck, and this is another one that we have cashed. This has been a really high-intensity gameplay league. A lot of the Prowess games are more clearly decided than the ones we've been seeing. Even the Storm, like, Game 1 was really unusually grindy. So this has been a really intense league. I think my play's been pretty good. My sideboarding needs to be cleaned up, but, like, I haven't sat down and, like, really figured out a sideboarding plan because my list is always being tweaked. But once I settle on a list, I should probably do that so I have a more coherent sideboarding plan. But hey, we got to see Bonecrusher Giants that game. They were important for grinding through our insane flood in the mid-game and extending the game long enough, trading off resources enough for us to finally bury them in Revelers. Awesome stuff, guys, and we're playing for the 4-1 here. We've won every die roll, which is amazing. I don't think we can keep this hand. You can justify mulling it because it doesn't race at all. So I think we should mull this 5-lander. Okay. Gotta mull the no-lander too. We're down to 5. It's an alright 5. I think I'm going to bottom a Rev, hoping to draw another one in the mid-game, but bottom one now, and also bottom a Lava Dart. We're going to go Mountain, Bauble. Bauble the opponent on their upkeep. We're looking for a threat as soon as possible, trying to race. The opponent has mulliganed to 6. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. Okay, so we're against either humans or some kind of Taxes deck looking like humans. Really unfortunate to mulligan so deep in this matchup. It's very winnable, like if you are playing a control game. But playing the control game gets a lot worse when you mulligan down to 5. But we're going to dart their turn 1 play, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, we found a Rev, a little soon for my tastes. Crash through looking for a threat. Ooh, that's a real awkward draw of light up the stage. Specifically because we know Thalia is coming next turn. So, yeah, there's like nothing good to do here. Yeah, Rev and light up, real awkward draws when we mull this low, because we're not enabling them that easily. We're priced into controlling the opponent's board. You get it. You get it. So opponent almost certainly running out Thalia here, but maybe if they suspect that we're flush with lands, we don't mind lava darting our mountain away. But nah, they do run her out. Okay. So if we main phase a bolt, we can then flash back a dart and main phase a light up. That's one option. Another option is to just say land go and bolt her on the opponent's end step. I think I'm doing this line though. I think I really want to resolve light up before, you know, anything else happens basically. All right, Swifty Manamorphose. It's okay. You know, obviously we're going to need help off the top of the deck, no matter what else we're doing at every stage of this game, basically. Humans is a a great deck. I like humans a lot. I'm a fan of it. I'm a little sad it's been kind of chased out of the meta because I think it's a fun deck to play against, unlike the ones I've been complaining about. But they've got good disruption and they've got good pressure. So, again, it's a bad matchup for us to have mulled. I would rather have mulled deep in some of these other matchups, right? But we still might be able to get there. We just need the top of our deck to really comply. Well, I'm not going to let this Manamorphose go to waste, so let's kick off with that. Fiery Islet. Am I cracking the Islet? 1, 2, 3, 4 in the bin. Just getting further and further away from Rev if we do that. So I think not. These light-ups, again, I say it again, they're pretty awkward when you mulligan. They're one of the very best cards in the deck. They've been a little awkward this league, though, through no fault of their own. Just, like, flipping 2 mountains off them way too much. But even when you do that, it's still a really good card, because it just gets you through that flood much, much quicker than you have any right to. Okay, yeah, opponent putting the beefcakes together, the big beefy white creatures here. It's not good. Bugler with Vigilance, and Bugler main deck is not something I've seen lately, but I guess the format is sufficiently grindy to warrant that. Alright, we've drawn a land. That means we're just going to get the rev down before anything else happens. Try not to get disrupted too heavily in the meantime. So, Bauble's an interesting consideration here. I think I'm supposed to play it out because I still think we're supposed to be adopting the control role in this spot. Therefore, I'm going to prioritize smoothing out my draws over potentially getting max prowess. So, upkeep Bauble U. See another Thalia's Lieutenant. That's terrifying. Yep. Yeah, this is one of the things we cannot realistically beat, especially game 1, if they're just drawing like all of their beaters. Just taking the hit, hoping to draw some instants here and make really good blocks. Okay. We're seeing 2 rising to 3 fresh cards. Sadly, they are all kind of duds. I think we have to begin with an Islet crack, which is real bad. Well, do we even? No, I think we're actually going to begin with a crash through. I think I cannot justify using 2 mana. We've got a bluff here to some degree. Okay, Wild Slash. That plays. That does a thing. So we play Soul-Scar Mage and we just pass, leaning on the Wild Slash, bluffing up to 2 such instant speed interactive cards. And Soul-Scar does make this way better. It opens up our possible lines here. So Wild Slash was a really good draw. We really just want to draw as many lightning bolts as possible, but we'll take the slash, right? So looks like a Reflector. Yep. Kind of a disaster. They bounce the rev. That makes sense. Yeah, there's no point in killing anything. We can't kill anything, rather, before these triggers are resolved, except the 1/1, which we don't want to. Yeah, turning them all sideways is just correct here. So, If we shrink this Thalia's Lieutenant, we can eat it in combat. Then we have to chump the 6/6 and we go to 1. Guess that's our best block. But we're just going to lose. Make the opponent sweat it out here. Oh, they have another spell? No, we don't. No, we don't. We're at 1. We're drawing all of our light up the stages. Again, I've already said it. I won't say it again. And we've drawn land. Okay. GG. Yeah, I mean, what could we light up into? Nothing that beats the 6/6 and the 4/5. Okay. Yeah, wrong half of the deck after a mull to 5. Very winnable matchup. I think our sideboard's pretty good against it, but you hate to drop G1 because variance can get you post-side just as easily as it can get you anywhere else. So, Bonecrusher Giant, Abrade, Dismember. I've heard some people say to play Blood Moon on the play. I don't think I condone that. Like, I think our matchup should be good enough that we don't want to play the high variance I win button that can hose them, but can also just kind of be ignored as they play through basic lands or an unanswered Mana Dork and Ether Vials. I think the matchup is fine. I think we're probably cutting 1 Rev. Probably not playing any Moons. Definitely cutting my 4 Lava Spikes. 1 Rev, 4 Spikes, bring in these 6 removal pieces, and then we would have to make 1 more cut. I'm tempted to cut a light up the stage on the back of that, and I think I actually might. The other thing to do is just to cut a Bauble. But I'm going to try cutting a light up. We'll see how it works. I don't usually cut a light up. I think I used to more when I was newer, and lately I haven't been. We'll see how it goes for us, but yeah, I firmly believe that you just adopt the controlling role in this matchup, and it's pretty fine. There is also something to be said for like trimming 1 of this and 1 of that and being hedged against humans because they do play Meddling Mage and it is just nice to not get certain things locked out. Hand is decent. It is a keep. You'd love to see a higher density of things that control the board. And probably a higher density of spells. Like if this 3rd mountain was a Lava Dart or a Wild Slash, or an Abrade, or a Dismember, or another Lightning Bolt if I haven't already said that, then that would be pretty good. Opponent having to operate off Horizon Canopy. Okay. Another mountain, really? Well, we're going to shove, so we lead on Manamorphose. Really hope we draw like something that makes us not have to bolt here. But we will if we have to. Alright, Lava Dart, good enough. So we dart you. We light it up. Hey, we'll play that Bauble. And we're smacking him for 5 on turn 2. Having also played a draw 2, we see a Mantis Rider on the top of their deck. Opponent had to... This is the downfall of Ancient Ziggurat, as it can't cast Ether Vial. Ariak Champion. Annoying. Very annoying. Especially given our shove all-in plan. Bonecrusher Giant. That's an out. Damage can't be prevented this turn. The only problem is, like... If we Manamorphose main phase, we telegraph that, but... What if we attack and they don't block, and we go Manamorphose, Bolt you, Stomp you? It's not lethal. Unless we draw another burn spell off Manamorphose, right? Damage can't be prevented this turn. Stomp deals 2 damage to any target. Okay. Alright. Actually, I didn't even probably want to Manamorphose here, did I? I don't know. We did. It felt free because we are... Yeah, we probably should not have Manamorphosed, but I think it's fine. Like I said, I've never cast this card before, so I hope it works like I think it does. Pretty sure it does. Pretty sure that's half the reason to play this guy. Okay, opponent vialing in Noble Hierarch. Think we're supposed to bolt that before they untap. But it doesn't really matter if we do it now, because we're not trampling or anything. And it is an interesting question as to whether we should bolt or lava dart, but I think we should bolt simply because we've got the rev coming. But maybe that was unnecessary, I don't know. Little questionable to bolt there when we know they have a Mantis Rider, but also questionable to let them have that other mana. They might not have the third land. Looks like they might not. And of course, again, the main consideration is getting, like, Reveler down next turn while also having things to do. Meddling Mage. Will they name Rev? That would be a tilt. They name Bonecrusher Giant. Well, that's a sensible name. However, not one we care too much about at the moment. Ooh, the draw of another Bedlam Reveler, very ugly. Very ugly draw, but whatever. We toss it away along with the mountain we didn't get to play, and then we've got a lightning bolt coming our way. So if we... Do we just bolt the mage, bolt the or dart the hierarch, swing for 3, and keep the board clear? I think we actually just attack first. Give them the chance to throw something away as a blocker. They're not doing it, so I am going to dart the hierarch, and I'm not going to bolt the meddling mage yet. I don't think. But if we kind of think we're going to anyway, it is another free Prowess trigger. It's a tough call. If we had more gas in hand, I would freely bolt. Or, yeah, I would freely bolt if we had more gas in hand. I think I'm doing it. Alright, apparently that was good enough, because they do scoop. You know, we didn't have lethal, but I guess our play signaled that we had lethal, that we had more gas in hand, but we just didn't. Just a poker face. You know, just a shove all in. You know, give the opponent the stare down that we've got 2 lightning bolts in hand. That was cool. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. You control the board, and you kind of go over the top of them and or just keep kind of punching damage through, and you can really outvalue this deck. Humans doesn't play too many strict 2-for-1s. We have more than them, I think. Especially when you count like a Prowess trigger on a free spell as like a 1.2-for-1 or something like that. Anyway, I don't think we should do anything differently here on the draw. Again, should we maybe be keeping that 4th light up in? Maybe, but I think this is fine too. Alright guys, let's get that 4-1. Let's win this game 3, be done with the league. Either way, however this one ends, this was a, I think, successful league because we did cash it. We did show a lot of really interesting gameplay. I continue to have really good results on this deck, and let's hope... frankly, this has been the 4-1 deck. Like, I've just gotten way, way, way more 4-1s than any other result with this deck, so long may that continue. Let's try to secure that here. This is a totally fine keep. We've got a couple ways to kill early threats. We've got a 2-lander with 5 spells. We've got a 2-for-1 with light up, and everything else is really cheap. And they play a 1-drop that's going to die to our Lava Dart if we want. I think I'm just going to do it. I'm adopting the control role here. Swifty gives us that luxury, like if they don't have a play this turn, for example, we can go Swifty, light up the stage, still have a really good turn. It's going to be a Thalia, maybe? Yep. Annoying. But having drawn another land, we'd be, like time-walking ourselves kind of sucks. But we can get Swifty down. And Dart Thalia and attack for 2. If we don't do that, we kind of have to dismember her, and I don't think I want to. With all these lands in hand, it just slows us down a lot, but... really hope they don't have another Thalia. I mean, again, we can answer her, but that'd just be... pretty annoying use of resources. Lots of things we want them not to have. Our hand's pretty clunky, but it's got a lot of things to like. We've just got to we just got to keep drawing removal spells, basically. Like, good, efficient removal. We stay in this game. We don't let them go over the top of us. We want to fade, of course, Auric Champion. And can't believe that thing is pro-red and pro-black. It's pretty annoying. And then I think our late game will see us through on average. This looks like a Reflector Mage, which is definitely one of the more annoying things they could have right now. But like in a vacuum, it's not amazingly effective against Swifty. But when we're flooding like this, it's very annoying. So we'll crash through just looking for more action. Another light up? Really? Okay, well, our stuff is looking awkward here. Kind of hope they just, play Mantis Rider and attack so there's something I can justify dismembering, and then I get to untap and go Swifty into at least 1 light up. Oh, ask and you shall receive, huh? All right. Come on, Swifty. Show us the way. I should say more accurately, come on, light up, show us the way. Another Swifty and an Abrade. So we could cast another light up, but I don't really think we should. I think just getting another Swiftspear down here is correct. Working our way pretty easily toward a turn 6 Reveler if nothing crazy happens. This is what I'm talking about trying to kind of stay in the game and then let our mid-game stuff carry us through. Light up was our first 2-for-1. Bedlam will be a nice big X for 1. Just gotta not get hated out, not get locked out, and not get aggroed out. So far, we're not getting aggroed out. And that's like the highest percentage chance of something that could happen. Like that happened to us game 1. We were kind of competitive despite our maul and despite our clunk, but they just went champion, lieutenant, and it was too big, too much. Okay, this is a Kitesail freebooter. Gonna take away our light up the stage. Can get it right back with this Abrade, if we want. Ether Vial. Alright. We could also Abrade that, but I'm pretty sure we just want to Abrade the freebooter here. Opponent turning the Reflector sideways because they're not going to have good blocks. Wild Slash is a good draw. Man, that's a good draw. So we can slash the freebooter. Abrade. I guess we're supposed to Abrade the Reflector rather than the Vial at this stage of the game. And then attack for 6 and then light up. All right, our light up shows us we want like diverse stuff here. Double Bauble. I think we should play these just, even though we're giving up free prowess value here, just in case they have a meddling mage. You know what? Nah, let's only play 1. Because if they have a meddling mage, they kind of have to name Bedlam Reveler anyway. So, yeah, I'm going to play 1. I think playing 1 is a nice balance between, like, sculpting our draws and getting the prowess value anyway. They have a Mantis Rider for turn. Okay. That's a good one. It's really making us find something. Like, we can't just afford to brick and still beat this card if they have more stuff to follow it up. But we're not going to brick. We kind of did. I think we're actually supposed to cast a light up. Man, that's so rough. I think we're supposed to hard cast light up rather than rev, though. What if we bauble ourselves, or should we bauble the opponent here? I think I'm lighting up no matter what, so let's just do that. There we go. Lightning Bolt. You're a Mantis Rider. Got a Dismember for whatever follow-up you have. I mean, it's actually possible we should have Dismembered here. And kept our Bolt to be able to go upstairs. But I cannot imagine us really losing from here. I could be wrong. They're drawing a Noble Hierarch for turn. Right after they put the Vial to 2. Another Rider. Okay. And then main phasing the Vial activation for Phantasmal Image. Oh my goodness. Okay, you're really making us have something here. We don't have lethal in hand. This all comes down to this, guys. Can we draw burn or... Yeah, we do. Okay. GG, boys and girls. We did it. Bolt you. See you later. There's our 4-1. Great games, well played. What a great league. What a great, great league. Only denied the 5-0 by the deck that literally has denied me probably 6 5-0s with this deck, which is Eldrazi Tron. And that doesn't even factor into why I hate the deck, because I hated the deck way before I was even a Prowess player, but it's insult to injury, just keeping us down, guys. But look, we did it. Like I've said before, when I play this deck, I should change my name to the 4-in-1. That doesn't make any sense grammatically, but Mr. 4-in-1 should be my name, because that's almost all I do with the deck. I actually still haven't 5-0'd with it, but I also probably haven't played more than... I probably have not even played 20 leagues with this deck yet. Statistically, I would like to have 5-0'd by now, but statistically, my win rate is also sky high. It is also pushing 80%. I very rarely do anything besides 4-in-1. I've got like one negative league ever, a few 3-in-2s, and then like 15 plus 4-in-1s. Legit, love this deck, love the results. Wish I could play it more. Wish I had time to just like jam games all day with this, but as those who follow my channel know, I'm a very busy guy. I play maybe 2 leagues a week, 3 leagues a week if I'm lucky. And beyond that, the majority of my supporters and viewers do demand the BGX modern content above all else, which I am very happy to give to them. But, my friends, this was a great league. My sideboarding was shaky. I do need to improve my sideboarding. I think some other content creators might just like sideboard without really telling you how unsure they are about certain things. I've gotten that vibe when watching a few people, no one in particular, just like a general thing. I'm too honest for my own good. I'm like, I don't know what's better. This could be good. That could be good. I try to reason it out, and maybe I'm wrong. But if I have a place to improve my sideboard, or excuse me, my prowess game even more, it is probably with getting a really coherent sideboard plan established. But again, before I do that, I might as well stop bouncing around between configurations first, right? But a lot of people ask me, will you play Runaway Steamkin? If I was mainly a prowess player on the channel, I would already have played it by now. But because it is more of an occasional thing when I get to play prowess, I think Steamkin is clearly the third best way to play prowess. I'm not going to tell you you are strictly wrong for it, because there are situations, of course, where it's better. It is not a strictly worse card than any alternative, but I'm pretty high on Kiln Fiend if you want to be like as racing-oriented as possible, and I think this is my favorite configuration overall. Bedlam Reveler just totally dumpstering people this league. Absolutely awesome. It was the card that went over the top of so many of these grindy games, and when we were failing to do so, it was because we were unluckily missing a Reveler for so long. Now, to be fair, this was an unusually grindy league, but hey, Modern is pretty grindy in general right now, as I touched on in the beginning of the video, so that's a long answer to a short question. I will probably play Steamkin at some point, before I'm dead, before time comes to an end, whatever. But I don't really feel like an urgent need to play it anytime soon. I tested it, I did my theory analysis of it, I think it is okay, but I think I would rather play Kiln Fiend if I think I want to play a 2-drop, and I think overall this is my favorite configuration with Baubles and the playset of Rev. Bonecrusher Giant looked pretty good today. We stomped out the Auric Champion, and he was a nice 2-for-1 when we were slogging through the Ponza match. I like the Bonecrusher, I'm willing to try him again. I like my sideboard configuration too. We did not run into big mana besides E-Tron, which is kind of more of a prison deck against us, almost than a big mana deck. It's kind of both. But we didn't get the chance to really see Pillage versus Moon. We had to discard a Pillage instead of playing it, and we played a Moon and it didn't matter that much, but the Pillage would not have mattered that much in that spot anyway, as I recall. So more testing needed for that. But I do like the sideboard configuration right now. I really like the main deck, and I really like you, the viewer. Thank you so much for watching. This was a really long league. I'm sure it was by far my longest Prowess league I've ever played. Or maybe it just feels that way. We'll have to see. Don't know what card is going to go on the thumbnail today. What was truly epic? Honestly, we were just praying to draw Lightning Bolts a lot of the time. Maybe Lightning Bolt, maybe Bonecrusher because he's new. One of the two. We already put Bauble and Rev on thumbnails in like my 6 videos I've ever done, so we can't reuse those yet. You could put Manamorphose. I'll think about it. These are the burning questions, right? Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, as always, to all Patreon supporters. If you are enjoying this content, Patreon is the very best way to give back. You accrue a lot of rewards for doing so. You get to vote on the scouting reports that I write every month if you're at a certain tier or above. And everyone, regardless of tier, gets to read these scouting reports and gets to participate in our new Patreon-only Discord server. So if you are enjoying this content, that I truly appreciate everybody who decides to support me directly, financially. I can really use it. I do plug a lot of it back into the channel, and other things I do use for necessities. My expenses are very high. I'm a full-time working father, and it's still not enough with my main job, so this is my second job, and your Patreon support does really, really make a difference in my life. So thanks to everybody doing that. You can check out my sponsor, Brian Palmer, if you want an alternative way to support the channel while also getting yourself something really nice. You get a 10% off discount code. GrimFlayerMTG is the code, info in the description below. And finally, I just want to thank everybody for watching. You can spread this around if you like. Word of mouth is good. You can give the video a like. You can leave a comment. All that good stuff. And this has gone on quite long enough, so I will stop talking, but I, as always, do look forward to your thoughts. Help me sideboard more cleanly, guys, if you would. Give me your thoughts on that. And as always, you can let me know what you think in general. Thanks again, and I will talk to you soon. I believe the next things I'm going to do on the channel are probably a green-black rock deck tech, because a lot of people have been asking me what my current rock list is, and I've just not been able to play it on the channel lately, so I will probably make a rock deck tech. And then we have another donation league coming up, which is Jund yet again. The donors, man, the donors are all about Jund, and I'm all about my donors. So deck tech for rock, gameplay with Jund, and hopefully sooner than later we'll do more Prowess as well. Thank you again for watching, as I've probably said 4 times already, and I will see you around. I hope everybody out there has a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon.